It is not a part of the story nature tells us. Nowhere in the vast chronicles of our storied history does eternity grace our lives with the intention of making its visit a permanent stay. There is only the rhythm of change, a parable of flux, cocooning existence into an occasion. In a cosmos both grand and slight, no evermore to make even the mountains impervious to the swells of time. There is no forever in anything we chase. There is no always to keep the trees dressed in green, or to detain seeds from the gravity necessary to anchor roots in new dominion. Only small cameos, dotted throughout our thought as we wish for pauses in the way the sun sets, or lapses in the way water falls.
Well, ice climbing in the Okanagan, it's not like the Rockies. You don't always know what's going to come in. In the Rockies, you got a pretty good idea. Every year, Louise Falls is going to come in. Every year, professors will come in, and all these big main name climbs. But we don't have a vast amount of ice. No, October comes around, you can't go and tell your buddies, we're going to climb that this winter. You can go and make a plan and say, we would like to climb it, but there's no guarantees on it.
Out here, it doesn't really consistently get cold, and when it does, it might hit, cold temperatures, but only for about a week at a time. And then you're back to about, +3, -3, +3, -3, and that's just not very conducive for the ice.
Well, you won't be an ice climber if you ice climb only in the Okanagan, because it's too far and few between the years, and there's just not enough. You have Bear Creek here in Kelowna that sometimes forms, or Crawford Falls, and then down south there's a few odds and ends as well. But a lot has filled out in between by people just being adventurous and finding it.
Today we're bringing Dave and Eric out to check out a spot I bolted for dry tooling in the Okanagan, because we don't always get the greatest ice conditions, so in order to keep us somewhat sharp and on our game, we come out here and play with our tools and scratch around on the rock. Just stick the shaft in the hole there, Eric.
Rock is constant. Ice changes by the day. Ice changes throughout the day. That's why we get up at such a ridiculous hour. That's why we get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go chase this waterfall that might not be there. If you don't hit it at the right hour, it might be gone, or it might be just too dangerous to even be on.
Back in October, Dean Ernest had mentioned to me that he was coming back and he was going to be in the Okanagan for the winter. So we started back then making loose plans of okay, well, what do you want to climb? So Mythological was his #1 sighting.
We started off at about -28. We wouldn't get out of the truck unless somebody pulled up and we thought maybe they were going to go try and jump on the line. We weren't going to get out of the truck, but we ended up waiting another hour and a half or so, and it got to -26. So we just said we better get on with it if we're going to do this. So we jumped out of the truck and we hiked up for a couple hours and got to the base, and it was cold. By the time I got to the first pitch, I was almost vomiting. And anyway, Adam came up and we were able to get a little bit of warmth at that time because the sun was starting to come on. And the next 3 pitches were stunning. So just beautiful, technical, aerated, chandelier ice, lots of overhangs.
Climbing harder ice is, for me, it's more about, especially multi-pitch, it's about your partner. Because if you get in trouble and you're in the middle of nowhere, the only person you can rely on is the person you're with.
There is something magical about being connected on that rope to that person. And you very much have your own battle while you're climbing, but with this joy of knowing the quality of the partner you have below holding that rope. And then that moment where you're at a belay together in this incredible setting of a landscape, and you get to share this experience. It's truly a shared experience. And it's short and it's brief because you're turning around really quick and you're bumping up another portion of the rock. But those moments and with the right people, oh man, you really do find a love for each other in that. Oh, what a day.
What a way to warm up in the morning.
Excellent way. First time I heard about the Phenom was in Gripped magazine. Yeah, that's when I read about it. That's when it first scared the pants off me. I thought, holy shit, guys, like, this is the Okanagan? Look at what we got here. We've got what's the start of a destination. We've got things that are worth coming to. This is just like another little oasis. Like, this is really, really exciting stuff. This is high grade stuff. This is Waterfall 6R.
Oh, it's definitely very unique for the Okanagan. For one, to find a pillar that stands 200 feet tall anywhere is very unique.
It's a hidden gem. I've been ice climbing all over the world, and I've never seen an ice cone as big as that, ever, anywhere.
I chase the solitude of the winter when everything just seems to pause and sleep. In the springtime, you can run through the trails and you can just kind of feel the vibration of the grass growing and bees buzzing and the birds and everything. Not in the winter. Everything goes to sleep. Everything just stops. And ice, you always think it's going to be like that. It's, water's always flowing really, really hard, and then it just stops and it's like frozen in time. But not Christie Falls. Christie Falls is alive. When you're on it, it's cracking and, growling at you, and you can just hear it shifting, and you feel so humbled doing it. When you're on there, you feel so small, so insignificant. When you think about how many tons of ice is there, I couldn't even fathom. And then in a matter of months, it's gone. sensation of ice, swinging ice, it is ultimately satisfying. It feels really good. It's as good as the first cut into a sheet of construction paper. It's like the perfect split of a cord of wood. It's like shifting into the gear with the clutch, and you did just the perfect shift. Instead of your brain going into an action, it's like the action goes to your brain, and it just feels like bliss.
For the Okanagan and its lack of cold most of the time, it's incredible what it's producing. It does come and go though, and it doesn't stick around for long. But if you wait on it, you're willing for it, you'll find it.
If you're having a bad day or a bad week, or heck, people have bad months. I mean, adventure is always something that I've always used as a tool. Nothing gets me up more than just going out, climbing, hanging out with my friends, just being outside.
The mountains is what I chase the most. I need it to gain perspective, otherwise my world becomes too small.
There is no immortality to the cold, no endlessness allowing ice to pose like sculptures of forgotten movement. A moment trapped in the amber of our memory. This living mandala stretched all around us. In a mural our senses paint onto the canvas of being, one that bows to the branches of time, sweeping this life into tidy piles of the now that keeps cascading through our fingers.